Film Club.
What's that?
That is your list
You
of
look
shame.
like one of those chimpanzees trying to communicate that they want a banana. And maybe they want a hug as well.
I don't like bananas though, but I'll have a hug.
Thank you very much for joining us in an episode of Film Club. I'm one, your host, Andy Harrison. To my right, as always, it's the huggable, banana-filled Andy Donaldson.
You smell like hug.
Every single week in Film Club, we invite you along to watch a film with us. We dive into some of cinema's best before coming back here to talk it out. Andy, you'll get a banana at the end of this, but for now,
I'll get a coconut.
this week it's been Castaway. Tell us all about Castaway.
God, Andy,
Give
that's
us the
terrible.
rundown.
You're not even a dad. That's atrocious.
That wasn't a joke.
Oh God, that makes it even worse. Castaway is about a bloke who works for FedEx.
What did I say?
He said, "You won't get bananas this week. It's been cast away." It's
Oh,
awful,
man.
awful. It's about a bloke who works for FedEx, and he's like all about time. He's all about this. He's got a girlfriend. He's like about to propose. He's got to take this flight because he's a bit of a workaholic with his job. And during that flight, the plane has a crash in the middle of the ocean. He gets swept up on an island, and he survives for 4 years on said island through his inner turmoil. And it's a story of survival. Tom Hanks, and then he eventually, what does he say? Something that comes. What is it? He uses a particular phrase anyway. This sail comes across, and he gets away from the island. He gets picked up by a boat, and it's about him going back to reality.
Bat boat.
That boat.
And I forgot to introduce our guest this week.
Well, sir.
Wilson!
I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah.
So, this is
your
Castaway
First
from-
time watching it. I love this film.
Yeah, first time for me. This was on my list of shame of things that you really should have watched. And
Robert
I hadn't.
Zemeckis.
Robert Zemeckis. So
Why you just write your name like Zemeckis instead of Zemeckis?
So Robert Zemeckis, for anyone who doesn't know, is a guy who did Forrest Gump, as well as
Catch Me If You Can.
Back to the Future.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Back to the Future films. And
I think he did Catch Me If You Can. No, was it Spielberg?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit as well, I think.
Oh, what a fucking film that one! Didn't we? Have we done that in a film club?
We have not.
Oh, we have to.
We have not. We'll definitely have to do that. Robert Zemeckis has this real sort of interesting style, I think, where he balances high concept, like really sort of high concept films with really nice character drama. And I think that Castaway is one of his best examples. Because I was watching this, I didn't realize it was Robert Zemeckis before we started watching it.
He didn't do Catch Me If You Can. Sorry.
I didn't realize it wasn't Robert Zemeckis before watching this, and halfway through, I sat there and thought, there's a lot of Forrest Gump in it. There's loads and loads of like Forrest Gumpiness about this film, with a little bit of like Spielberg sprinkled in. And there was a little bit of me that thought, it's just because it's Tom Hanks. But as the film went on, I was like, no, there's something here about this. And just that vindication at the end of the film when his name pops up in the credits, I was like, that's why. That explains a lot.
I thought you would have known who it was when you went to watch it.
I didn't. I tried to not read about the film before I watch it.
I didn't
and then read about it
sometimes
afterwards.
you can just can't help like seeing the director like, oh fuck.
Yeah. But it didn't have any opening credits, did it?
No. Okay. Speaking about the opening, actually, can we jump into that scene?
Of course.
The FedEx
Of
parcel.
course. Yep.
Great way to enter a film,
Yeah.
isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
like it's such a unique kind of thing. And I think there's only one that springs to mind, and there's probably been a few, but there's one film that it's called Lord of War. Believe it or not, it's actually a very good film starring Nicolas Cage.
I know the opening you're talking about.
Yeah, with the
Life of the
AK-47. Great intro, but this it's made in 2000. This does it really well. It's only short, like, and it brings you into like what the world is, the FedEx, about time, about travel. He's like, oh, this took like 3 days. It's not enough. We need to be better, we need faster. The guy translating, and then obviously things happen. He has this plane crash, and then straight into it, you are. Since watching this film, I've never seen it and analysed it from the technical. I'd just like to say, I wouldn't say like Marvel's probably exaggerating, but also it is quite technical. This film. Look at those shots where he's on the beach and he's sat there.
Yep.
And you see stuff over here in the background, you see stuff here in the foreground, or him looking at something behind the camera, and then the camera pans and it's all one shot. And then he looks around, he's like, hello, he's going around the camera and he appears on the other side. And you look at that and he's like, oh my God, this is so like immersive for me. I absolutely loved it. And I was so into it. And I was like this.
Well, the whole section while he's on the beach is basically this masterclass in cinematic storytelling of show, don't tell. Because he has no one to talk to until, Wilson turns up.
Wilson!
He has no one to talk to. And even once Wilson turns up, there's the odd moment where they slip on the show, don't tell a little bit, which is almost a shame. But there's loads of when he's on his own at the beginning, and
Yeah.
he's trying to figure things out. He's failing. Some things he is figuring out, and all that stuff is wonderful. My favorite example, I think, really is showing the scale of the island where he goes up to the top.
Oh yeah.
And you get that wonderful shot where he's looking over the edge, and the camera is peeking over the edge as well, and
But it's also,
sweeping over to the right.
Out over the edge.
Yeah, and you're just kind of looking over and seeing. It feels like it's almost going to go 360. It doesn't quite go 360.
Yeah.
It goes like more like 180 or something. But it's enough to show you that this island is teeny, teeny, tiny.
And it also there's some great shots as well. You know about like Wilson. He keeps looking up, but he keeps looking up like this. One of my favorite scenes, from the film is when he makes fire.
Yes.
And he does it. And there's always just that thing. It's a very Tom Hanks kind of like thing. Tom Hanks is a very lovable character. And he kind of goes like, fire, your show and all this. He goes, I made fire. He goes, I. Like, who's he talking to? He's talking to no one, I made fire like this. He's like some sort of god. And I just think it's so endearing. It's like so lovable Tom Hanks.
And that's one of the best things this film has going for it, I think, is Tom Hanks is such a great actor. And this is like Tom Hanks at his peak, in his prime, of like his most Tom Hanks and coming off of Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump was a couple of years before this, I think. And so he's in that sort of era, and he's just nailing it. He's such a enjoyable, likable, watchable guy. It's weird to have this story about a guy who gets stranded on an island, has his whole life torn apart, and his future thrown into disarray. And yet, I would describe the film as being just thoroughly entertaining and fun.
It is so
throughout,
fun.
and that's weird.
Yeah,
and it's a sort of balance only someone like Robert Zemeckis can balance.
And so on the second half of the technical prowess of Robert Zemeckis.
Well done.
There we go.
You get a banana or a coconut.
Cast away that thought. So I'm just recycling your joke. Is the use of sound in this film. And I say use of sound is lack of sound thereof. The use of atmosphere, the use of ambience, the use of everything, the lack of score up until the end of the film. It's got a little bit here and there, like a bit of music coming in. But then you have that like really like kind of swell soundtrack where it's something like something off Saving Private Ryan, something off Forrest Gump, like those deep strings coming in to really enhance the film. So we're going about music in film. Like, why do you have music in film? You have music to enhance a moment. Look at that moment when he can't be with his wife and he's like going down, he's speaking to his mate, he's saying, "I've just lost her all over again," like this, and you have this music that's pouring out. I mean, our lass was absolutely like.
Do you know who did it?
Drowning. Oh God, I fucking did.
You can do it. You can do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Alan Silvestri.
You can do it because you can Google it. And
True.
This is the guy who did. He would later go on to do one Captain America: First Avenger.
Oh wow! No way.
More importantly, probably the Avengers. Yeah, the very first Avengers film.
I thought that was Danny
Elfman.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did the composition, but he's credited as the composer for
interesting,
the film.
very interesting. And he has I couldn't remember if he does the Forrest Gump one. I might be wrong. Anyway, it's just everything comes together. But it's not just. I mean, the score's great. The score really is great for what it is. Such a small piece.
But it's the utilization of it. It's how he holds back for a lot of time, especially when he's on the island. And there's loads of it is like loads of it's diegetic music. A lot of diegetic sound, I should say. A lot of it's like the waves and the critters and the trees and stuff. And it's much more impactful when he does finally get off the island and the music swells at that point.
So that's what I like about it, though. So like we got something in uni. We got taught. It was like, why don't you go for a soundwalk? Bring the environment around you, listen to it, and try and like see the rhythm of the sound around you, the rhythm of the environment, and everything like that. And you, like you said, the swell of the waves. Like I go to bed at night and I've got this little alarm clock, Loomy sort of thing, and I'll press it. It's a thunderstorm, and like to listen to the like kind of soothing sound of a thunderstorm go over. And like this, it has a thunderstorm, it has the waves go by, and it's the constant rain, but it like kind of shifts in and out of like frequencies. A lot of people listen to like white noise for that reason. It's really pleasing to some people on the ears.
Psychopaths listen to white noise.
It's honestly try it. Or even pink noise. Anyway, so it's just the way it comes like this, and it's almost like going through a sound walk, but actually not walking. The film, and you're kind of lost in the moment, much like when you're going around. And I said about the camera, and you're so immersed in there that the sound absolutely enhances that. And I'm a fan of not much dialogue in a film, not much like stuff like that. I didn't realize, since I Love Castaway from ages ago, I didn't realize just how much this had that in there, and it's kind of like no wonder I like it so much. And then, of course, we got Wilson, which is our other favourite character.
Which probably, I mean, I don't think it's probably the best scene in the film. Which weirdly, when
sad.
Wilson obviously is disconnected from the raft and he floats off and he can't get to him. And you are feeling this genuine emotion. You really feel for him in this moment where a volleyball's floating away.
Thing is, so we were on about like films what made you cry, and like first time I watched this, I think I'm pretty sure I cried at this first time watching it.
And no one's ever gonna laugh at you for that.
Nah.
Because it really works. It's the fact that they managed to make this inanimate object a person and make it a character. They personified it perfectly.
Yeah.
And then to have it sort of torn away from this person who is full in desperation. I love this, by the way. It's never really brought up, but like obviously everyone knows that he's called Wilson because the ball says Wilson on the back, but it's never brought up.
But
That's just another
I heard about
testament.
is like when he makes that joke and he goes, "Oh, my dentist, it's what he's called Spalding. Spalding just want to make a ball like this because they actually make that reference on Madagascar." And he goes, "Shoot Spalding like this." There we go.
That was a deep cut to Madagascar.
Aye.
That classic from DreamWorks.
Aye, that's it.
Yeah, so probably best scene in the film, and weirdly, it all comes down to this inanimate object.
Hey, fire.
Wilson. Wilson, I'm
It's just
sorry.
It's mad how you can do that just off an inanimate object like. Sorry, it's a bit of tongue twister. Going to Win Bruges that we watched ages ago. You're a fucking inanimate object. I know, a fucking object.
So
It's
one
just great.
more thing before we wrap this up. I love the structure of this film, that they give this nice hefty chunk at the beginning before he gets cast onto the island, just so you know what he's lost.
And also,
like,
you
where
know the
he
kind
is
of
in his
character
life.
he is.
Exactly.
Because look how methodical he is.
So you can give him a real arc as well,
Yeah,
because he learns the value of like people.
When he's in the cave and stuff, he's like, he repeats what he said about the time thing, and he just goes to Wilson and goes, ha ha ha, and fuck that sort of thing.
And then that obviously you get plenty of time on the island, so it doesn't feel like he's just on and off. You get plenty of time on the island, and then to even have that sort of confidence in your character to know that we want to see a little bit of when he gets off the island, how he reintegrates into society in his life.
And then that final moment as well, where obviously he said, "Oh, that parcel saved my life."
Yeah.
And he does all this stuff. He has his like bye. He has his like cry with his mate, and then he obviously lets the parcel go. He goes to the crossroads. Doesn't know where he's going to go because where he's going to go. He's like kind of up and
He's at the crossroads of his life.
exactly, and like so symbolic in the end. And then she goes past and you see the two wings that like represented like his hope essentially. And he's like, I love how it just ends on his smile.
Yes, because it's this lovely suggestion
Not
of
where
like,
he goes.
If you want to believe that he follows her down the road
Exactly.
and goes and
Exactly.
lives a happy life with her, you can.
When I was younger, I was always like, I can't see him go after them. But I love the idea now that it gives you that hope.
The
And
ambiguity is...
The film, that's what it's all about. It's about hope.
So there is Castaway. You can let us know in the comments below if Castaway filled you with hope. Or you can hit us up on Twitter, as always. We'll be back once again next week, where we are going to take a look at The Green Mile.
Another Tom Hanks classic that he hasn't seen. So get the fuck in.
This year, My List of Shame is getting eradicated.
Honestly, watch it. Really good.
Until then, get watching. See you next week. Wilson!
No, I'm glad we had Wilson on set.